Realtree's Midwest Whitetail is brought to you by Cabela's, Cuddyback, America's Best Bowstrings, Drake Non-Typical, Easton Arrows, Frigid Forage, Fuse, Grizzly Coolers, Hoyt, and Realtree.
Hard to believe it's February 26th already. We've got a kind of a random day planned. This is just stuff we do all the time. I want to shoot my bow a little bit more this year. When I was in my 20s, I used to shoot all the time, and then it seems like every year I get a little busier, so I'm wanting to get back into shooting more and more. So we'll film the first round of that, and then we'll go out. I want to look at some TSI, and I'm glad last year we did about 40 acres of TSI, and I want to show you the sprouts and how the deer are hitting those. And I'm real glad I did that this year because it's a harsh winter. This winter just won't let up. You've seen Bill talk about it there on the main show a couple days ago. Let's fire a couple arrows and then we'll go out and we'll do a little shed hunting and we'll show you a couple other things out there. Would have liked a shot like that on Uno this year, I can tell you that. Before we head out shed hunting, I just got the crabs buck back. I want to show you that guy. And just hung him up here. Come on in. So I took him up to Amana, Iowa. There's a guy up there by the name of Tom Sexton. All he does is just repairs points. I sent him all my trail pictures, and he was able to put that point back on just exactly the way it was a week before I shot him. So that's what he had that none of you guys got to see. Big old split G3 right there. And the guy does crazy, phenomenal work. You cannot tell that from the rest of the rack. Turned out awesome. And my taxidermist, Joe, he just finished this up yesterday. And we're taking him up to the Classic. He'll be up there all weekend, so he'll be at the Iowa Deer Classic if any of you guys want to see him. So let's go do some shed hunting. We're going to start right here at some of the food sources. I've got one right here that backs up to some really good bedding. There's a cedar thicket here. Look at all the waste grain. We had a lot of wind damage this year. Look at the waste grain down here. So they've been out here plenty. So we've had the snow since like January 12th. You know, late season hunting was no snow and warm, and then since January 12th it's been nothing but cold and snow, and really been a harsh winter. So it should be a good shed season though, because when you get conditions like that, they're really concentrated on food. So if you got food, you'll find sheds. There's one right there. See it in that grass? On the board. Another one right there. Match. Match set right there, laying about 20 feet apart. This is actually probably my favorite place, or where I've picked up the most sheds over the years, is grassy areas along food sources. Seems like they go out and they feed for 15-20 minutes, then they'll go lay down on the edge of the food source. Especially conditions like this, they don't go far, and you find a lot of them just in those grassy areas. Well, let's keep on a-marching. Whoa, big shed. Check that sucker out. Upside down even. Whoa. Check that dude out. That's a buck I call Super Freak. I know that dude. Went like 3 months without getting a trail picture of that buck. Had a bunch of him early, and just finally got some more at the end of the season, like late December, January. Wow, we'll have to look around here, see if we can find that other side. That's a dandy. That's so last year he had a really nice G4 on this side, and now this year he's got it on the other side, so the genetics are there to be an absolute giant. So we'll have to see if he doesn't throw on a nice G4 there next year. That's exciting. Beautiful dark antler. Well, let's look around, see if we can find the other side. There we go, right here. There's one laying in the corn. Off to a good start today. I believe that's that. I think that's that wide buck. If you watch my last vlog, there was that tall, well, I guess he was a 9-pointer in there. Had real tall G2s. And there was another wide buck in there. I think that's him. Well, guys, here's an area I wanted to show you. This has all been cut, you know, about a foot or maybe just over a foot off the ground. And this is a year's regrowth. And you can see every one of these has been nipped off. The deer have been through every stump you look at. They've got that bud right there on the top that's real tender. They've been clipping this one here too. They've got every one of these. And so that just adds a ton of food in a winter like this. That's big because they need the browse. They can't just live off corn constantly. It's hard for them to digest, just like it is us. And then in the summer, you know, all this is greened up, so you got even more food. So that's the major difference between just cutting them completely off kind of low. All your food's right here where the deer can get to it, versus hinge cutting it up high where everything's growing out of their reach, but it's instant cover. If you look at the cover on this hillside, it's all pretty low. So it's going to be, you know, 3, 4, 5 years before it really grows back thick, you know, and you have a middle story. But there's still enough cover in here now where they can get in these brush piles, and they'll still bed in this. Matter of fact, we ran 2 or 3 deer out when we walked up here. So, well, guys, we're going to wrap it up for today. We're going to keep on shed hunting. If we find any more, we'll show them to you. I want you to check back next week, though. I've got an announcement about what I'm going to be doing coming up, and we'll get into the bucks that I know made it through the season that we're going to be hunting next year, and we'll start getting into our land management projects, and should be fun. We're just getting started, and from here on out it's going to be busy, so check back next week. We'll see you then.